Hello, it's Harry Reasoner again. Today I'd like to talk to you about Grant Jeffries' book, The Mysterious Bible Codes. Let's assume that he's serious and get to it. He says that the Bible is full of encoded concealed words, which he calls ELSs, or equidistant letter sequences. The presence of these codes is proof that God himself wrote the Bible, since a supreme intelligence was required to create them. I'm going to demonstrate an ELS by creating one of my own. I'll attempt to encode the acronym DNA into some text. Here's DNA. Now let's insert a number of spaces. For this example, the number is 14. At this point, we could fill those spaces with randomly generated characters, thereby encoding DNA. But Grant says that God was able to fill the spaces in the Bible with characters such that the overall containing text is lucid, coherent, and consistent. Let's see if I can do the same. And there it is. It wasn't hard at all. This text contains the ELS DNA encoded at a skip interval of plus 14. Plus refers to the left to right direction of the code. What minus would mean should be obvious, even to a creationist.
Grant uses software to search the Hebrew Old Testament. Hebrew is written right to left. So in his book, the directions are reversed. And speaking of software,
Grant includes this statement in Chapter 1. The Bible codes could only be discovered once high-speed computers had been invented. Yet, a few short pages later, he begins Chapter 2, entitled The Ancient Discovery of the Bible Codes, by saying that many researchers in past centuries have studied them. Grant is a master of doublespeak, who apparently thinks that we're all stupid. He describes two types of Bible codes. There is the prophetic, and there's the thematic. Today, we'll be looking at the latter.
a thematic code is said to exist when three conditions are met. We must see a number of low, skip interval, thematically linked or related words occurring in the same short span of text. If this definition seems fuzzy and imprecise, you can blame Grant. I'm quoting him. His shining showpiece example of the thematic Bible code is unveiled in
The names of 25 trees encoded in Genesis 2. Genesis 2 contains one of the biblical creation stories and of course includes God creating the earth's vegetation. For the same passage to encode the names of 25 trees seems very impressive. Well, at least to Grant. Let's look at his list. We can immediately see some problems. To start with, only 13 of these items are actually trees.
You may think that I'm being picky or splitting hairs, but let's call it what it is. Including the word vine on a list of names of trees is actually more silly, phylogenetically speaking, than including on a list of dog breeds the word cat.
And look at the last item. This word apparently means wheat, which is not a tree, of course, but it may also mean the tree of knowledge. He includes a word that he doesn't know the meaning of. A little bit desperate, are we, Grant?
That's not all that's wrong, and actually not the worst of it. The shortest word that can be encoded in an ELS is 3 characters in length. The 3-character word is therefore the most likely to occur by chance. As an example, have a look at my earlier demonstration.
It actually contains DNA encoded 4 times. Pause and see if you can find them. Now, look at Grant's list again. 18 of these so-called trees are 3-letter words, and the average length of the 25 is just 3.32. Grant does admit that words do become encoded in text inadvertently. He says this: if we search a sufficiently long text, like War and Peace or Moby Dick, we may find the odd ELS, but we will never find multiple related words. It's Grant's assertion that the laws of probability dictate that the chance that these 25 names of trees were encoded accidentally is, in fact, less than 1 chance in 100,000. Therefore, Genesis 2 must have been written by God.
Well, I wrote my own code-searching software to test Grant's hypothesis. and I decided to search a small portion of Grant's own writing. The results of my searches are revealing, to say the least.
For each of my examples, I'll include the word, the start position, the direction, and the value of the skip interval so that you can verify them if you wish. That's a practice Grant boasts about in his book, but a boast he rarely actually lives up to. I'll reveal the exact source of the text soon enough.
I found the following 4 words: war, peace, Moby, and Dick. This gave me an idea. Are there any words encoded in Grant's writing that are thematically related to the word Dick? Well, there most certainly are. This is the point where you may want to turn down the volume and shoo any children out of the room. We see penis, knob, rod, shaft, wang, cock, dink, tool, organ, unit, chub, pole, and boner. There's erect, one-eyed tube stake, rigid, stiff, firm, wood, and well-hung stud. We find nuts, bag, and sack. There's muff, poon, hole, twat, hair pie, bush, carpet, trim, puss, clit, that one, and beaver. As well as wet, tight, moist, and pink. At first I thought that Grant is a boob man, because I see jugs, cans, rack, D-cup, and tits. But leg is there, actually 692 times. An ass takes the cake. It's there 2,944 times. Along with tail, anus, hot, rough, anal butt sex, and ream. There's oral too, and lips, mouth, lick, and suck. And along with job, which appears 57 times, there's hand, rim, head, and blow. I see wild, loose women, slut, tart, and harlot. There's ache, yearn, want, lust, and horny. Strip club, lap dance, rip off teddy, bra, thong, nude, pay cash, baby, oil, rub, and tug. Motel, hotel, room, phone, pimp, send, call, girl, and tryst. Orgy, gang, bang, spit, roast, wife, swap, and swing. Then we see Grant's dark side. There's kink, whip, chain, master, slave, sadist, fist, lube, and dildo. There's mate, breed, hump, poke, ball, boff, shag, score, and boink. Soft and gentle, slow and easy, hard and faster, sigh, pant, moan, curl, toes, arch, back, come, and come again. Grant should be ashamed of himself. You see, all these ELSs are found not in his book, but on it.
These words are all encoded in just the text of Grant's book jacket. His own calculations show us that there is very little chance indeed that they appear there by accident. We can only imagine how far into the depths of perversion and depravity he sinks between the covers.
The simple fact is that when text is written using an alphabet consisting of a finite number of characters, it is impossible for it to not include large numbers of inadvertently encoded words in ELS form. And the Hebrew alphabet consists of only 22 characters, 4 fewer than our English one. It's not impressive at all that words appear encoded in the Old Testament. What would be far more mysterious and remarkable is if they didn't. That would be a miracle.
By the way, Grant, here's a list of 25 trees encoded on the cover of your book. You may notice that I don't include any that are less than 4 characters in length. And you may also notice that all 25 are actually trees.
Next time around, we'll talk about the prophetic Bible code. But I'll give you a little taste right now. Grant's book was written a number of years ago, yet we see encoded on the book jacket the following prophetic, dire warning to our favorite birthday boy and felon, Kent. Don't drop the soap.